Hey everybody, this is Vex here, and I have a new mapping video for you today. As you can see, I'm at Dungeondraft.net because we are going to make a map using Dungeondraft rather than uh, Dungeon Painter Studio today. So these are some of the features that they promise. Unintimidating UI, not sure about that one. Clean, appealing art style, yeah. Intuitive tools and fast workflow. I don't know, I might be faster with Dungeon Painter Studio. But maybe if I get used to using this one, it might be just as fast or faster. Smart tiling system, smart object scattering, paint landscape. Okay. Built-in lighting system. That one I'm looking forward to. Built-in dungeon and cave generator. I've played around with this a little bit. It's interesting. No internet required to use. DRM free. No subscriptions. Those are both huge pluses. No additional commercial licensing. Now, that is only true for the current version and the current art that comes with it. Uh, Anything that you add additionally, now you can't do that quite yet, but when they update it to the full version, you should be able to download assets or add your own assets. So that's always something you're gonna have to consider when with the commercial licensing is external assets. But tag system for objects that I didn't know about. I'm actually reading that for the first time. I'll have to look into that. Printer friend. Oh no, I did know about the tag system. Now that I think about it, printer friendly export filter for those of you who like to print out your maps. That's really nice. The system requirements are a tad on the high side, I would say. They're not super high, but yeah. And then input is limited to mouse, as I understand. So, and I think there are some people who really want them to add tablet support for like drawing tablets. I'm not sure how that would really help, but people want it. So, and it does run for $20. And for those of you who don't recognize this little box, that is a this is a Humble Bundle purchase box. So when you buy it, you are buying it through Humble Bundle. That being said, I do have Dungeon Draft started up. So we are going to make a map. As you can see, it is in beta right now. It does cost $20. The same company that made this made Wonder Draft, which is the overland world map making software. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at the preferences. Maximum, I think I increased that to 50. Automatic backups is on. Backup every 10 minutes. Maximum number of backups kept is 50. I don't know if I need that many, but okay. I think that's default. So we are gonna go ahead and you can edit the object tags. Oh, okay. So these are like for instance, if we click on this one. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Tags administration. Okay, what if we just tag? Hold on. Tag armor. Cave. Oh, okay. Boat. There's all the boats. Okay, all the things that were tagged with boats. Which those look like boat sails. What is that? Those look very similar to boat sails, but in fact, I think they are all boat sails. They're just not tagged with boat. They should be. See? So the tagging system is something you might want to play with. I believe anything that is this bright red will change when you change the color, and we'll play with that. But anyway, I was just browsing there through the menus. So we're gonna go ahead and click new. Map size. Let's do our usual 25 by 25 map. Oh, there's templates, just like when they now there'll probably end up being more templates because there's a bunch of different templates for Wonder Draft. So I imagine they'll. Do we want to do a map wizard map? I think we'll do two maps today. We'll do one without and one with the map. Well, we'll start with the map wizard. And right now we're generating a dungeon. Okay. Um, Boundary 1. I'm not sure what boundary is. Boundary. We'll leave it at 1. Complexity 0.5. Density 0.5. Battlement walls, cobblestone walls, concrete walls, stone walls, wood walls. Let's do stone walls. And concrete floors, carpeted floors, smart stone, cave floor. Let's see what the smart stone looks like. I think we can click generate more than once. Okay, so there is a 4-room dungeon, which has no entrance. It's just a loop. Obviously, we would need to change that. 4-room dungeon that they had generated, and I think, like I said, you can click generate more than once. Again, it's just a 4-room dungeon. That's really interesting that it keeps. There we go. There's a little bit more complex. I kind of don't want something that complex, though. I wonder if I take down the complexity, go to like 0.3. Let's see what happens. Interesting. I need to read up on what all these things are. If I mouse over complexity, does it anywhere give me a tooltip? Doesn't look like it. Uh, that's a little bit better. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Similar to our 3-room dungeon style, something that we can do, a series of, you know, it does take a lot of player choice out of exploration, but for such a small area, this is kind of what we want. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with this, and we'll finish this map. Um, yeah, we'll click finish with the generator. So there we go. You gotta hold control down to zoom out. I kept trying to zoom out. I wanted to see the whole map on one screen. So in the design, you've got your floor shape tool, your wall tool, portal tool, cave brush. In terrain, you've got the terrain brush, the water brush, the material brush, and the path tool. The path tool, as far as I know right now, there's only 3 path tools. There's a log fence, a train tracks with cross beams, and train tracks without. Obviously, they need to add more of these paths because paths I think are important. So then you go down to objects. You got your object tool and your scatter tool. The scatter tool, you choose an object and then you choose how big of a scattering area, and it'll just scatter it. Most of the time, you're going to be in the object tool later, and you're going to be actually placing individual objects as you go. So then you got the environment tool, which lets you set ambient light, and then the light tool, which lets you do the light, and you can increase the intensity of the light and the range of the light. Do really bright light that just shines, out. Anyway, and then obviously you can set the color. I'm not sure what widgets. Oh, widget just shows you like where the center of the light is, I believe. Shadows. I'm not sure. Oh, shadows is probably shadows behind certain objects. Um, and then you've got map settings, which you can change the grid color, and you can create multiple levels. So this is something really nice for those of you who create maps for Roll20, especially. But you can add a level, like, and you could have a stairway that goes from this level to your next level. This isn't a layer thing. This is actually for multiple maps that level together. And I know on Roll20 you can have like maps that flip basically. So like you have level 1, level 2. Um, that way you don't have to switch the page. I believe is what it's called in Roll20. It's been a long time. I did use Roll20 for a while, but it's been over a year and a half, probably close to 2 years since I've used Roll20 at all. So we're gonna go back over here to the floor shape tool. I don't think we want any kind of wall or any kind of. Well, we do want another wall. What did I build these out of? I built these out of stone with the smart stone, I believe. We do want another. There we go. We want an entrance. And I still haven't figured out what rotation does. Um, on the on the whatever you want to call it, the wall or on the doors. But that's our entrance basically, where they come in. And we are going to add some doors to some of these rooms. Maybe that's what rotation does. See, at 180, I want like a 90 degree. Now that I've got freestanding selected, yep, that's what rotation does. And you can use the mouse wheel to rotate. That's nice. And it does seem to be rather. It's rotating in 5 degree increments. That's nice. Very nice. We'll go ahead and stick with the same door throughout the whole dungeon just to make it a little nice. I think we'll stick a door here and here and on this one here. So this is our big baddie area of some sort. This is our our encounter rooms. This first room, I think we're just gonna do something similar to what we did in our other map. Now, I don't know if I can add terrain onto. We're just gonna click and see what happens. Okay, so I can add terrain out there, but I can't add terrain on top of the stone, which is slightly unfortunate. What is it? What is enabled? Enable off, on. Oh, okay. So that's like turning the terrain in the background on or off. So if you want like a cool background on top of your I believe that's dirt already, on top of your or underneath your dungeon. Didn't I switch it? Interesting. Rocky. Oh, I switched this one. That's what I cracked. Kind of like the way that looks. Just kind of playing with some stuff here. With any new art program, the best way to figure things out is just to play with them. And obviously, I could have switched that top one and just done a fill. And I think there's actually a fill tool. Kind of like the way this looks, though. I don't know why. I'm going to try some other things. I don't want grass. We already saw what dirt looked like. Gravel's going to look like that, although the gravel obviously didn't get all filled in. It's obvious our spots. The gravel looks interesting. Does look like an underground sort of a thing. Sandstone is pretty featureless. It's the right color. There's the rocky one again. Swamp would look really weird. But this is useful because you could do, maybe this isn't maybe this isn't underground. This is actually this isn't a dungeon per se. This is actually a crypt above ground, and so you could put like islands in the middle of a swamp, and all these buildings are on top of islands. But I think we're just gonna go back to uh, either gravel or we may just turn it off. Oh, there's the fill right there. I think we're just gonna turn it off. It'll look. I think it looks cleaner with it turned off. Uh, there's water. This is material. Oh, you can paint material like acid. What is this one? Cobblestone. Can you do this on top? You can't. But you could do cobblestone around if you wanted to. And it will fill in the gaps. I'm sure this is grass, rock. Um, Okay, and it actually, I'm looking at something. It looks like I could go above If I put this on the user layer and then we do acid, aha, we could do a pool of acid in that room. Or, for instance, turn the brush down. You could have a bit of lava going across a room that they have to jump across. And I do like the way that looks, although I don't like the way this hangs out. But I'll leave it like that for now. I'm not going to try and undo it and be perfect here, because I know there's an easier way. Again, these are the paths. I'm not sure if there's anything else I want to do, terrain or water. Now, with the terrain, I don't see a way to, like, for instance, if I wanted to have a room filled with rock. I mean, I know I could go in and change the tile in this floor shape tool. I could change. I've already got the wall selected, but if I changed this, if I wanted to fill this entire room, oops, see, that won't work. If I wanted to do this entire room differently with a different floor, I know I can do that. That's totally possible. So that looks kind of interesting. What is this other? It's a different tile. Could also do wood floor in here. Looks, there's another wood as well. That one does like wood tiles. That looks interesting. Oh, and you can change the color. So like for instance, if we wanted black tiles, maybe like a dark or a light purplish tile. That looks kind of cool. And this would, I think this just switches which one's which. Oh, there's a light tile in combination with a whatever you choose, and then that's like a brocade. I'm guessing people will make a bunch of these. Anyway, for our big baddie room, I think we do want to do something different. Maybe we'll do some cobblestone in here. And I like that. That looks cool. So let's see. We've got walls. We've got all of our flooring type stuff done. The only thing left to do is add some objects to this room. The other thing you might want to decide is whether you want the doors. I should go back to these doors. That's interesting. I haven't played around with the doors hardly at all. Let's click on this door. Can I make this a double door? See, now that door is acting differently. It's not giving me the boxes. I'm not sure what that did. And I can't undo. Oh, nope. There we go. We got our first Wonderdraft crash. I have no idea if it backed up our save. Oops. We'll relaunch Wonderdraft and see if there's any kind of backup. But that's what happens when you yeah, I have no idea where it saves the backups. Okay, well, we're gonna start all over again. I have no idea what was going on with those doors. So we're gonna do that again. We're gonna do a 25 by 25. And this time I know what I want. So we'll do the map wizard. We're doing a dungeon. Gonna do these stone walls. I think these are the smart dungeon tiles, and we'll just click generate until I get. Ooh, that's very complex. Let's zoom out so we can see the whole map. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, we're gonna take the complexity down to 3, and we'll see. Let's see what happens when we take the density down too. That's a little better. That's probably perfect. Yes, that's awesome. We can work with this. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go finish. go back to design. We're gonna change our last room to what did we do? We did cobblestone, I think. So we're gonna change this room to cobblestone, and I think we'll change the hallway too. Uh, for our entry room, I think we'll do some tile. Let's do some dark green tile. See how that looks. Maybe with this one actually, and do the dark green tile. That's probably plenty dark, and then we'll see how it looks. Oh, I like that. And okay, so we're gonna need some doors, and what happens if I do that? Okay, so there's no wall in the on the entryway. Well, we can assume that there's some other entryway that the DM then describes or something like that. Oh, you can do other shapes. That's nice to know. Uh-oh. And when I did Control Z, it undid everything. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's horrible. Okay, we're gonna discard. Start with Map Wizard. There's a bunch of little quirks. Like I said, this is a beta, so it's not a perfect program, and you got to learn the quirks when you do these. So once again, smart tile, we got the right one. We're gonna go down to 0.3 and 0.3. Generate, generate. That's only 3 rooms, but that's okay. If we start with this is our first room and this is our last room, that's fine. That's a 3-room dungeon. Okay, go over here to, oh, we gotta click finish first. Then go back to our design, floor shape, cobblestone. Gotta have, uh, maybe we'll do a different wall even. Let's see what happens if we do a different wall. Oh no, that changes all the walls. Interesting. Stone. Why is it still doing? There we go. Weird. Bunch of weirdness. Um, and yeah, here, and then we are gonna need an entrance, so we'll have like a. I don't necessarily like uh, narrow entrances. In fact, I don't like narrow passageways between rooms even. So I'm gonna do that. Now, the question is what happens if we try to add a door to one of these? It's just gonna sit there, right? Between, it's not gonna do a double door. So we're gonna have to do an actual double door. Does that look? Will that look like a double door? I gotta zoom in and actually take a look at it. It kind of does. Um, See, I wish there was a way to resize. There is no way to resize these objects. You have to make a whole new thing in outside of uh, Dungeondraft and then import it when importing is even a possibility. But right now, it doesn't look like there's a way to increase the size of objects, which is something that you can do in Dungeon Painter Studio. So, what door do we want? I think we'll do a couple of those. That looks pretty cool. Those definitely look like doors, but now that I put them there, I realize don't like them right there. Oops. What if we do this one instead? Those look like doors to me. Yeah, looks like big heavy doors. Maybe we'll do. Uh, Actually, maybe we will do some narrow doorways just to make sure. I think I am gonna make this one wide though, and I am gonna do the whole double door thing, and we will use Oh, we wanted a different color on our floor in here. And then, oh, can you actually change the color of the cobblestone? Oh, you can. That is interesting. That is a nice thing. You can make it brighter or darker or whatever. Uh, nice. Didn't see that, the color bar there. Go back to our, where are we? Portal tool, that's right. So we're gonna go ahead and add those big heavy double doors there. Um, put a door there like that one, and then no doors here. So we've got just two doorways in the whole thing. No, it's not the terrain, it's not the water. That's right, it's the material. And we're gonna go ahead and go back up to the user layer. I think we are gonna do that same thing with a river of lava flowing through it. Uh, oh, I do need to go back up here to the, where was that? Not floor shape, it's terrain. And we're just gonna turn the terrain off because I want it just a blank background there. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start doing some objects. So in our first room, I want some sort of statue. Uh, so we gotta find something that looks like a statue. And because of these tags, all. So over here on tags, you can select statue. Isn't that convenient? So we got like, that looks like an angel or a demon. That looks kind of like a knight. This looks like a, like a scholar or something like that. That's definitely some sort of monster. Some sort of creature. Man on a horse. Another man on a horse or a woman. I guess either of those could be women. That one definitely looks kind of feminine to me, but I guess you could see a man or a woman on that one. A man or a woman on this one. In fact, I think all of these are fairly gender neutral as far as the humanoids. Let's see. I think we'll go ahead and go with this big statue here. And again, now here when you're placing actual objects, now you can actually resize things and you can do like a really big statue. I don't want it quite that big. I'm gonna go down to now. Can I, if I now the mouse wheel does with no buttons pushed does your rotation. If you hold Alt, because Control zooms you in and out. If you hold Alt, that is going to be your scale. And let me set the scale to 2. Yeah, if you have it set on an even number when you hold Alt and do this, it'll scroll by a tenth of a percent. So we're gonna go to I think 3 looks good, which is 2 squares, and then we'll probably have it sitting in the center of the hallway when they first come in. I know this room is like, to be honest, if I was doing this, I would have probably made this room a little bit smaller, like by 1 square, so that it was nice and symmetrical. But, you know, we generated. It's randomly generated. So now we've got a statue there. And maybe that statue will like animate under the right circumstances and give the players clues as to how to get past some of the traps and monsters that they're about to face. Okay, so in the next room, maybe we got some dead people. Uh, see some of these skeletons, and we're up on a scale of it's really big. On the other hand, maybe there's a bridge across this chasm that's made out of bones. What do we got here? Lots of different skeletons. I don't really find anything that are really what I'm looking for. I'd like to have one that looks like it's just slumped up against the wall. Let's see. Sacks, plants, rocks, rugs, obstacle. Let's just look like pools of water. Mine. Oh, mine carts. Pillars. Yeah, we could do some pillars. Uh, Maybe we've got pillars out here in the stones or in the pool that they can skip across. Circular ones. That's interesting. What else do we got? Lightning. Light. Oh, that's lighting. Yeah, we definitely want to add some lighting in our first room. Uh, those look like wall torches. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna put. Uh, why is it not snapping to? See, it's snapping to the grid. Sorting over under. I don't like that. I can't place it where I want to place it. So, and there's no way to not do that. Control, Alt, Shift, Control Shift, Control Alt Shift, Control Alt. Yeah, and I don't see. I am gonna go ahead and go over here and do a search. Dungeondraft keyboard shortcuts. Let's see if I can find anything. Here we go. I thought that they listed these. Toggle grid, toggle snap, S. Okay, so let's see if I push S. Aha, now it's not snapped to the grid. If oh, the grid and the snap are down here. Once I saw it move, so you can click down here to unsnap. There we go. So I think we're gonna put a wall torch here and here, like they're lighting this room, but not these rooms. Maybe I'll put some down here as well, just for. I wish that spacebar did the rotation, but you know, I'm too used to Dungeon Painter Studio. This is not there. Well, it's not quite doing what I want. There we go. Okay. Oh, right click does a 90-degree rotation. Haha, found another one. Okay. Fountain, grave, floating. Okay, that's stuff that's floating in water. Fixture. Okay. Oven. Okay. Dining, desk, decor, creature, crate, colorable. Well, that's a whole bunch of stuff. Clutter. Interesting. Chairs, cave, cart, camp, cage. Let's see. Administration. Oh, okay. It's like maps and books and stuff. Okay. Armor. There is some armor. Bar. Okay. Plant. Rock. Let's see. Stable. That's all horse stuff. Stairs. So, can we actually put in stairs so it makes it like we went down a level after we went? There you go. That's pretty cool. Put some stairs in. So you open the door and you have to go down the stairs. That's interesting. That's cool. This is a like a double stairway or a flight of stairs. This is a longer stair. We could do this right here. Right click. Got to put in two of them though. And I'm not gonna like those ones have railings. Yeah, we don't want the ones with railings. We want the ones without railings. And if we line this up right, even though there's going to be a big line down the middle of it, it'll get covered up by the grid. So now you're going lower and then even lower, which I like. Okay. I still feel like we need something in here besides the lava. Not another statue. Storage. Structure. Well, this is lots of different things here. Interesting. An altar. have an altar sitting out here in the middle. I feel like it needs to be smaller or bigger. Probably bigger. Let's go to 1.5. I mean, we could even make the altar into a bridge. What was our shortcut for resizing? That's right, Alt. 2.5. I keep getting. So our altar sort of looks like an interesting bridge then. I kind of like that. Yep, we're going with it. And we could actually put like an altar in this room. But I think what we'll do is we'll put an altar in the last room. And we're going to change the color. And it does give you a bunch of color options, or it looks like you can do the color select. I'm going to go with kind of a purple, and then I'm probably going to do color select and make the purple a little more intense. Maybe even a little more purplish. That looks pretty good. A little too intense. Let me go down this way. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Because you don't want super, super intense color. And actually, I'm going to stick it down at this end. And I do like that it is adding shadows around objects. That's kind of nice. So, what else do we want in this room, though? I think we need something. Some treasure. I don't really like the way that treasure looks. I'm sure I could get used to it with time, but it's kind of this odd color. I don't know if I can change the color on it. It's not changing anything. I would probably make my own assets for color or import. I mean, I probably am going to import a bunch of. If I start using this, I'll probably import all of the 2-minute tabletop stuff. Let's go ahead and make this like a normal-ish size. And we'll put it over here in this corner. And, oh, so Alt does that. Shift scrolls through the options. I thought there used to be. Aha, spacebar. If you hold spacebar, it rotates. I just gotta remember all of my my old Wonderdraft usage, and I'll eventually remember all the keyboard shortcuts. I don't need any trees. Weapons? Probably not. Wood? No. Tools? No. Trap? See, I've never. I love when you put traps in a map because it's always kind of like, really? Like, it doesn't make sense. Table. We need something on the altar. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the statue. Where is statue? Statue. Um, we'll do like probably this monster statue, or maybe this could be a devil. Um, I want to zoom in. There we go. I don't think I can change the color on this one. I can try. Yeah, I didn't think so. Gonna make it smaller though. That's a little too small. There we go. Still, I mean, our monster or big baddie is gonna be in here. We'll probably have some sort of, undead or minions out here, and then nothing out here, but maybe a clue given by this statue, or maybe it turns into a golem if they don't do something. But that's our map, okay? But the last thing we want to do now, we want to go down here to environment. I think we want to change the ambient light because this is a dungeon and it'll be much more fun if the ambient light do we want to make it really dark? I mean that would be kind of cool. Can you do ambient? See, ambient light I believe is just for the one room or just for the whole dungeon. So I mean, I'd love to do like separate ambient light for this room and this room and this room, but I think I mean we don't want it super bright. I think we want to just take down the darkness to about 50% because then our light is gonna pop even more. I'm gonna put the range out on the light to about it doesn't want to accept 10. I don't know why. That's what I want though, is a 10. There we go. That seems a little too strong, so maybe we'll go down to like 7. Aha, 7 looks good. And then we do have the shadows on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that widget on just because I'll be able to see. Intensity. So shift goes up by 0.1 on the range. Alt goes up by or no button goes up by 0.5. Shift to go up by 0.1, and I'm using the mouse wheel there. Shift in combination with the mouse wheel. But I'm not seeing an interesting way of. I kind of want the orangish light from the torches. Now, if you turn widget to off, those icons go away. But it's leaving those there on the map so that you can see where your light's coming from. Now, on this one, I'm definitely going to go a little more red, a little more intense. I'm going to change the range to, we might just do a 20. That covers the whole room. Maybe we don't want that though. What if we go down to like, I mean 15 is still going to cover the whole room. Intensity. We take the intensity way up, that room really glows. I think we want like a 1.5 though. That looks pretty good. So, and that's that room. This room is not glowing or not, there's no light per se, but I think we want this statue to basically be giving off like some sort of light. Because, I mean, we got light, let's use it, right? But we're going to do a really light glow, just barely. And we'll take the intensity. If we take the intensity way up, it's obvious that's happening. I think we're going to take the intensity way down too. Just do like a 0.5. No, that's not. I mean, yeah, if we do, I think if we do that, we want to do the range up. Turn the range to like a 7. That makes it looks interesting. Maybe turn this up just a little bit. Yep, that's where we want it. Okay, and then we'll do a custom color. It's gonna glow. It's gonna give off like a purple glow. It's a little bright. There, that's pretty good. Okay, and then we'll turn our widgets off so we can really see. And that's our 3-room dungeon, I think. I don't think there's anything else to mess with. You can change the grid camera filter. Printer friendly sepia. Okay, that's hilarious. Printer friendly is, oh, it's just white. None. Okay. I don't know why just white makes it printer friendly. Welcome to the 21st century. Color printers are a thing. Okay, so we have a 25 by 25 map, but here's the crazy thing. We don't need all of this space. And I'd like to be able to export it without a grid and be able to easily set a grid, but I have no idea how. I haven't played around with this not this much yet. So right now it's going to output 6400 by 6400. I don't think we need 256 pixels. I think a 100 is going to be just fine, which does 2500 by 2500. Um, it's still really big because we shouldn't need all this space, but I'm going to show you how to fix that, I hope. Uh, unless there's a way here in the map settings or level settings. I don't see a way to do this. But you can change your grid color if you want to make it lighter or darker or where it was originally. Really light is crazy. I think black is just fine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and export it. Interesting. Okay. Sure, we'll just save its pictures. That was actually the first map I made with Dungeondraft. You can see the thumbnail there. It's okay. It's just a little cabin on the side of a road, and I messed around with a little bit of water. 3-room dungeon draft. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and close. Oh, I can save a dungeon draft file as well. Okay. Let's put this 3-room dungeon draft. Okay. And then that somehow killed Dungeon Draft. It like Dungeon Draft crashed while saving that file. I have no idea if it actually saved. Um, but I think I should figure that out because that seems like since we're kind of figuring things out in this video, let's go into Dungeon Draft again, and it keeps launching on my other monitor for some reason. And we'll try open. We'll see what happens. Currently, Windows says Dungeon Draft is not responding, but we'll give it a minute. In fact, maybe we'll just load this other map up in Photoshop while it's doing its thing, and we'll come back to Dungeon Draft and see if it thought hard enough or if it really did just save it corrupted nothing. Okay, so where we are right now, we are in Photoshop, and once again, this extraneous space is just a waste. So we're at 2500 right now. I want like just a 1 square additional around what we have. So that would take off 200 from the width and 500 from the height. So if I go into image and canvas size, and I take this down to 2300 on the width and 2000, oops, not 20,000, 2000 on the height. Yeah, some clipping will occur. I understand. Now it clipped it, but I'm going to move it to where I actually want it. And I believe that the lines are telling me that's right. No, that's not right. There we go. Got the purple lines there showing me, or the pink lines, the guidelines from Photoshop telling me that is lined up correctly. So, uh, I don't think there's any post production other than that I want to do. Um, in this on this map. I mean, I could if there was some Dungeon Painter Studio asset that I really wanted added in, I could do that right now. But for this example, I just want to save this and make sure that importing it, I can then get the grid going really easily in Fantasy Grounds because that's what I use. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I am not saving it as a PNG. I am definitely saving it as a JPEG and getting rid of all this extraneous color information. I'm also going to do a 50% size reduction. And I'm not saving it in video thumbnails. I'm saving it, we'll call it finished in here. And then I am going to load up Fantasy Grounds. Okay, let's check out Dungeondraft. Now, Dungeondraft is definitely, it crashed again trying to load that file. So, no, don't report to Microsoft. Okay. And I don't want to load a campaign. We'll just, oh, I don't want to join a campaign either. We'll just create a new campaign to load this into. Now, those of you using Roll20 for maps, if you're watching, you obviously import maps and do the grid in a different way. But, come on, move out of the way. There we go. This is the folder that popped up on my other monitor. And I'm now copying that 3-room Dungeondraft JPEG in here. And it should pop up, which it did. There we go. So now I'm going to probably choose one of these squares to set the grid off of. Let me zoom in on one of these. Now, because we did the same scale that we normally do for our when we use Dungeon Painter Studio, come on, there we go. I should be looking for a 50 by 50 grid, and that looks just about right. And let's see if our grid aligns everywhere. Looks like it does. And you know that grid that they included is not too bad. Now, when Dungeondraft is finished and you know quite a bit more stable, has some more options, I probably will try and figure out how to add a grid key square like I do for my other maps, and then I won't have the grid showing on my most of my maps, at least the ones for Fantasy Grounds. Uh, but if you were running this in Fantasy Grounds, you could definitely, you know, when you first load the map, add that mask, and then I would probably reveal this to the players, and they would walk in, and once they'd walked in, I'd probably reveal that so they could see the door. You know, they'd have their little encounter with with whatever happens with this statue, whether it animates and attacks them or gives them some clues or something like that. And then as they moved on to the next room, I would reveal probably a block, something like that. And then whatever happens in here happens in here. And as it was happening, I'd probably reveal this little bit so they can see down to these big double doors. And then when they moved on, you could finally reveal this last big square, and they only see what you need them to see as it goes. Uh, but I'm not super impressed right now with Dungeondraft. I see the potential for it though. Once I have my 2-minute tabletop, well, they're not my assets, but once I have Ross's 2-minute tabletop assets added into the program and I get comfortable with adding my own assets and with the shortcuts, because I was struggling with the shortcuts throughout that. And, you know, I'm hoping there's some more options as far as like being able to resize doors, I definitely want to figure out how to make my own assets for this or to import his assets into it. Um, that part I don't quite understand. Well, it's not an option yet. No one's doing it because they haven't added that option. But I want to be able to do that, and I want to mess around with. I mean, I'd love for them to really add a layering system, but there isn't one yet. I mean, there is. We didn't get into it, but and I know I said we'd make two maps, one with the wizard and one without. But this took us well longer than I thought it would. I mean, I guess that it was going to take me longer to make a map in this than it would with Dungeon Painter Studio because I'm just so experienced with Dungeon Painter Studio. I can make maps faster. But this, I mean, this program works for if you're looking for a program that works and does some of the stuff like makes the maps that look pretty cool, like my maps, but you aren't comfortable with Photoshop or GIMP, and you want to be able to do lighting. This is maybe the program that you want to go with. On the other hand, it is really limited right now as far as the amount of assets that are available and what you can do with it. And as you saw, I had what 3, 4 different crashes while we were doing things. I had to restart several times on the map, so you're going to be fighting it a little bit while it's still in alpha or beta. But they are fixing it, and it's pretty cool. So I would say it's definitely worth checking out. Um, but you probably will still, unless you plan way ahead in advance of, and you don't want to waste. If you're trying to be efficient and not waste space, I mean this image was quite a bit bigger than we needed it to be because of the way it turned out. Um, you're still going to need something like GIMP, and you're going to be able to need to be able to resize images and crop them and stuff. So that being said, uh, I definitely would give my recommendation to Dungeondraft. Um, when was the last time have they edited this? Known issues. This was 11 days ago. They still coming features, 4K UI. That would be nice. Mac OS port. That would be good for the Mac users. Tool shortcuts info bar. That would be very useful. Custom asset support. That's probably the number one requested feature. Although, as somebody who has a 4K monitor, I would like a 4K support. Um, Known issues cannot flip the direction of a window door. No way to tell if a layer is already has a material brush painted. Recolored tiles do not save properly. Moving things with the select tool is not yet undoable. That's why I got that first crash with the door, I think. Floor shapes off the grid draws beyond its shape if the terrain is off or transparent. Heavy use of the water brush and cave brush is prone to crashing. Save a backup. Opening an existing map and placing an object that exists already crashes to desktop. Yeah, that's a little annoying. Like you save a map and then you go back in and you want to add one more tree and you can't. So yeah, it like I said, it's got some issues, but I definitely think this is one that has potential, and I don't think this company is a fly-by-night company that's they're going away. They've been around for several years. I don't know if they have a Wikipedia page. Nah, it doesn't look like it. Uh, Mega Mega-sploit. That's not right. It's Mega-sploot, isn't it? Uh, Hold on. I'm like 90% positive it's Mega-sploot. Where is there's Dungeondraft on it? Mega-sploot. Yeah. I'm not finding Mega-sploot. That's weird. Well, Wonder Draft. Is it .net? It is. This is Wonder Draft, which I'm sure I've mentioned several times during this video. It's available on many different things. I'll go ahead and play this video so you can see. I don't think I'm piping in any of the sound, so you can't hear the music that's going on. But Wondersplute or Megasplute, I mean, allows you to make maps. This is all with the software. There's no post production work going on to get these maps to look like this. If you want overland map making software and you don't want to buy Campaign Cartographer and spend hundreds of dollars on assets and stuff through Campaign Cartographer, this is your best bet. I believe it is. Okay, I'm not sure. Let me open it up. One-time purchase. It is currently $29.99. I believe I originally got it when it was on sale for. I thought I got it for the same price I got Dungeondraft, which is $19.99. There are. I mean, you can see a lot of these maps. You're gonna recognize the style. Looks similar to stuff that you have seen in your favorite fantasy novels and all sorts of things. It is quite intuitive. It uses similar shortcuts to the ones where I was using today with um, Dungeon Draft. You can see the pathing tool in this one is pretty cool. It has labels. Um, it has a bunch of different fonts for those labels. You can twist them and shape them and recolor them, and you can add. He's adding a legend or a key, a map key. It's very. It's really great software, and you can even add a grid. I think you can do hex grid. Yeah, he's doing a hex grid as well. It is. I mean, if you really like, for instance, I'm really enjoying right now running Tomb of Annihilation, um, and I'm enjoying the hex grid exploration part of the that campaign, and I'm thinking I want to continue that in a kind of a custom setting afterward, or well, not custom setting, but custom uh, hex map exploration, kind of continue the hex out into a larger world. So, making a map and adding a hex grid in Wonderdraft would be really useful for that. So, anyway, I think that's it for this video. I've rambled on enough here at the end with talking about other things. Um, but yeah, Wonderdraft. If you're looking for something to make overland maps with that's cheap, I think Wonderdraft may be the best bet out there. On the other hand, I don't make a lot of overland maps, so my opinion, you take that with a grain of salt. I've made maybe 3 or 4 things with Wonderdraft, other than just playing around, but actual like something that I was gonna share with other people. I've only done 3 or 4 things. So, uh, yeah, that's the end of this video. If you haven't already, subscribe. Check out the contest that's going on this month. At the end or at the beginning of April, I'm going to be giving away something with my name on it of your choice from DM's Guild if you win. And also, somebody else has added something to the pot. There is a copy of Dungeon Painter Studio that is going to be coming to that same winner. So, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, do all that. Have a great day.